Hi, and welcome to Focus on Frisco. Wow, it's May, and we are coming out here mostly to talk about the big dig and the progress that it's made. But you know, there are always those little stepping stones. I'm Shannon and we're so excited that you joined us here on Focus on Frisco. Coming up first, I have Mayor Wilkinson and Addison Canino, the Assistant Director of Public Works, to talk about the big dig. And then Nora's going to be joining me to talk about all things fun that are coming up this summer. Stay with us right here. Welcome back to Focus on Frisco. Thanks so much for joining us. And guys, thanks for joining me on this beautiful spring day.
Here we are, May, another May in Summit County.
I know. What did somebody say? Mayuary or something like that?
I heard that.
Yeah, here we are. But despite this snow, what we're here to talk about is what's going on behind us, the big dig.
Right. This is big in Frisco.
This is big in Frisco.
So we've been working on this for a number of years. We had a master plan process last summer.
Yeah.
Had great community output, a lot of great input from the community on improvements, what they want to see out here. And so we went through that public outreach, design, and so now those projects are starting to come fruition. We did do a bond last winter, so we have money to do our first phase of this. But some of the major stuff is totally redesigning the whole Marina area here, and you'll see some great improvements once we get it done.
Well, it's really neat because as the whole process was going through, it really showed that the community felt like, I think you guys did, that it's a destination. I mean, It really is a place that draws people, and every year you just saw it getting bigger and bigger.
Right,
and I'm sure from Public Works, this is Addison Canino, the Assistant Director over at Public Works. And Addison, I can't imagine what you guys had to deal with as you started to see it grow every year, because it doesn't just happen that it makes it accessible for everybody. I mean, it really takes a lot from you guys.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot that goes into it. Tom and his crew at the Marina, they do the bulk of it. I'll, give the credit where credit's due. But keeping the place clean, keeping the infrastructure all good to go.
And that's what I would think, and that's really why a lot of this came about, right?
Right.
Because of the infrastructure and the push that came onto it. So let's talk, I don't know where you guys want to start, but let's just talk a little bit about kind of the 7 areas that it's
Right.
split into.
Yeah, we have some main areas, and as you can see, the bay, and why is it called the Big Dig? So we had to dig out an area, and this goes back to a Colorado River Cooperative Agreement that was signed on by over 20 entities. And out of that agreement, Frisco was part of that, and Denver Water agreed to keep the lake full the best they can,
Right.
and to give us money to do some dredging so we can keep it open longer. And the goal is to keep it longer in the fall. So what you see on the south side of us here, behind this equipment here, we dredged out, we moved 83,000 yards, I think it was, cubic yards, somewhere in that area.
That's an incredible number.
So that will allow us to run the marina later in the season.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest, that's why we called it the Big Dig.
Right.
And one of the goals that we had for a long time, and that's why we took advantage of the low lake levels
Right.
this year.
Exactly.
And so that was a push, and our priority was to get going on that.
And I think it's exciting, on days like this, we see why we want that extension further at the end of the summer.
Oh yeah, because it's so beautiful up here in the fall.
It is. I mean, you
late
get into
summer.
September, October
Yeah.
even. I mean,
It's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
So the next area was kind of to the north of that area, and that's kind of like a kayak sports area. And
Okay.
So what we're doing is using some of that material that we got out of the dig to expand that kayak area, and so we have more, because kayaking is ballooned.
Yeah.
We have a waiting list for people that want to use our kayak racks and
gosh.
coming down here. And
Right.
of course, people come from all over to kayak and to get out on the lake. So we're expanding that, and so that's part of the use for the area there. Another big project was the causeway, which goes out towards the lake, and it's off to our right there. And we built that up and widened it. So that causeway will allow our docks to be better anchored, have a wider access.
So when you say you built that up, what does that mean?
That means we took the material out of the Big Dig and built it up higher so that it's above the lake level.
Okay.
And then we used a lot of the rocks that we got out of the Big Dig to surface that area. So it's rock faced. and so that makes it more aesthetic and looks better in that area.
You bet. And stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're working on that. So out of this, what we ended up having is the north side of the causeway, which will be our paddle sports area, which will be huge. Before that, we had to interact with the sailboats, power boats, kayaks, paddle boards, all those things. Well, all the other motorized and sailboats will be on the south side, so the north side of the causeway will be our paddle sports.
Okay.
And a huge area for those people, and it's a lot more safer for everybody.
Oh my gosh.
And so we anticipate that to continue to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, every weekend or almost every day in the summer,
was
we
gonna
rent
say.
out all our paddle sports.
When you say you anticipate it to grow, I mean, what more? It's,
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty intense.
Right.
And I've been out here at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there are other people out here at 5
yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
Right. The Frisco
Yeah.
Rowing Club is out here bright and
Yeah.
early, out on the lake. That's when it's the best, nice and still.
it is, it's
And
beautiful.
And then they'll have a much better facility here as well once we get going.
Right.
And
So just to kind of reiterate that, there's going to be the south side, which is a lot more of those motorboats, the power.
Right, the piers,
Exactly.
The moorings will be farther out in the lake, but all the slips will be on the south side for their customers.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And then as you move over to the north side, those are the paddle sports, the stand-up paddle boards,
Yep.
your kayaks, and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And so another thing is we're building a bigger beach area. Beach area was here very popular.
Yeah.
And so I think
Even
we have.
what was the dimensions of the original beach? It was like 50 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
It was 50 feet at the water line,
Right.
and now it's 400
That's
feet.
insane.
Yeah.
That is going to be such a huge draw.
Yeah.
I mean, people are good because those warm summer days are truly. I mean, it's going to feel like a summer day now out
Absolutely.
here at the lake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the community is going to be really impressed with what went
Was that one of the things that you saw consistently, that people were asking for more of a place to gather?
Yes.
Some of the designs were coming about, that people were
Right.
looking for that.
More and more people come down here, spend the day. They might go out, but then come back, have a picnic, play with the kids on the beach. And so it got more and more popular. And part of this project will also expand the number of parking spaces down here. So
It's a great
we
idea,
knew
too.
that was important too.
Yeah, very.
So
Yeah.
I think one of the other projects that we had was over by the middle school, across the inlet here. And what we did was take some of our material from here and tried to restore that bank over there. The bank was getting undercut by the wave action.
Okay.
And so it creates a safer access for people from the middle school.
Gotcha.
Because it was getting pretty dangerous and pretty steep, and it would continue to erode towards the middle school. So we were able to reshape that and regrade it, and I think that'll end up being better on that side of the inlet as
Okay.
well.
All right. Well, it's got to feel really good as you guys started to make these decisions, that using so much of the material that was dug out is being used again.
Yeah, it's all being used. We're not exporting anything. We're using pretty much all of it
All
on
of it.
site. Yeah, which saves money too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, gotta love that. Because I know that that's an issue. You know, it's so funny because you see budgets and you see timelines and things like that, and we all know, especially up here with all of the different factors that are put into it, that things change. How are
Right.
we looking budget-wise?
Well, it's pretty much on budget. There's been some add-ons because on the south side here, there were some old creek beds and some other areas that we had to deal with, and so some other retention walls that we had to add on. But it's pretty close to budget.
Great.
We're trying to stay on schedule, but
I can't believe
days
you
like
almost
this-
said it with a straight face.
Yeah, but it's a project like this. We want to make sure it's done right.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that all the materials are done right. We don't want to have to come back and fix anything. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're going to have a busy summer.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to see next weekend is Memorial Day weekend coming up. There'll be some limited action down here, openings. We'll have to see exactly how the weather cooperates
Okay.
and stuff like that. But I think the Island Grill will have a soft opening. They're
Okay.
not going to be fully open. But there is still going to be a construction area down here for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
And I think that's what I want to certainly remind everybody. You know, it seems like during the week, there's obviously a lot going on. People need to be aware of that. You guys have great signage that has said, you know, keep out, we're doing this. But as you start to see the snow go away and you start to see the sun come up and you want to be out on the lake, I need everybody to obviously still be aware.
Right.
Check websites, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it's my understanding that you're still planning on doing the Rock the Dock.
The Rock the Dock party will be June 1st, Saturday.
Okay.
We'll be down here, drinking food specials, a band, and so we anticipate that being a good time.
Yeah.
And so people come down and see how progress is going.
Yeah.
After that, it'll all depend on how construction's going. There'll be limited services. I think we're still going to be just weekends only for maybe a week or so.
Okay.
But as the lake starts coming up, as we see, it's still down pretty much.
Yeah.
And so the runoff is delayed, as we all know, as it continues to snow here in Summit County.
Yeah,
So
it is.
we'll all be balanced with, and we work closely with Denver Water on knowing what their inflow is and outflow and what we can anticipate for lake levels. But as soon as we get up to a safe lake level, we get the docks in, the slips going, and we'll be ready for business.
Ready for business. Now, Addison, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pier. I understand that they're kind of working a little bit more with the pier that's being built. Can you give us some idea of what's going on with that?
Just talking about the pier.
Yeah,
offshore, right?
that it's not necessarily being rebuilt.
Yeah, so basically, you know, in talking with a lot of folks who have designed marinas, especially on the Great Lakes, a good piece of advice that we got from them was, hey, you guys need to armor your pier.
Right.
So that's what we have done, and all of that rock we harvested from the from the Big Dig, and you know, we getting down to that 16 feet deep that we're at now. There was quite a bit.
That's
so
amazing.
It's amazing that we were able to use all native materials on site.
Right, and I just really wanted to highlight that because I think it's pretty incredible. You know, as you see all the movement, even in this small, I guess, lake, there is a lot of movement, and you know, it just being able to use all of those to stabilize it, I think is really cool. That, again, reiterating that they use so much of the materials from in here.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that goes with the permits you have to get with this type of stuff as well. You know, whatever you take, you kind of got to put back somewhere else. And we did a great job of accommodating that and following it down to the letter.
I think that's great. Well, let's do this. I'm just going to kind of take a look at this and kind of run through some of the stuff that's going on. Reminder that Rock the Dock is June 1st. Definitely go to townofrisco.com to get the information on all of it. But as we start to go, you know, I know that you guys were looking at the beginning of June for a lot of things to open. Stuff has been pushed back because of what we're talking about right now. But just kind of keep an eye out for it. But be thoughtful of everything else that is going on, because the best way for this to stay safe and get you back out there as quickly as possible is to let you guys and everybody that's working on it get their jobs done.
Absolutely. You know, the biggest thing, we kind of preach safety around here, and this is a huge deal that everybody takes pretty serious around here. So if you by chance wander in, you will definitely kindly be asked to turn around,
right?
Because there's a lot of moving pieces, so we just want to make sure nothing impedes progress, and we give the citizens and the public and guests of the town an absolutely fantastic product.
Great. Well, thanks you guys so much for coming by today. I appreciate you being out here in this.
Well, thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
It's great. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Have this
it
going,
really
and I'm
is.
glad the lake was down. I know we had a dry year last year, but I think we're making up with it this year.
Well, I think so too. You know, you don't often hear us say it's so great that the lake's down as far as it is, but that really gave you guys that opportunity to jump in.
We've been waiting a while for that.
Yeah. So just stay tuned. I think it's going to be a great summer. We've got a beautiful year ahead of us, and when it does start to melt off, get out here and have some fun. Don't forget to make your reservations early. I know Tom and Jen want to hear those words, because this is, you guys got to call ahead. Yeah, it's going to be a very busy. So, all right, big thanks to you guys for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Focus on Frisco. Stay with us.